After 40 years, who remembers the Vietnam War? Who remembers the blood and sweat, the blunders and betrayals? Who wants to know about a war most Americans want to forget? See this, and you will. It's Vietnam, the 10,000-day war.
Saigon itself appears calm, but tension mounts as supplies of gasoline and other commodities grow short. Refugees keep crowding in. Now the elite see no way out.
Sincerely, I do not know what's going to happen next. So I know that I'm expecting something, but I don't know what.
President Thieu is now under intense pressure to resign. His suggested replacement is neutralist General Nguyen Van Thieu, known as Big Men. It's believed the communists might negotiate a coalition government with him. Senior CIA analyst Frank Snepp.
Big Men was a self-proclaimed neutralist. He'd called himself a member of the Third Force. He had a brother or a cousin, there was some debate over this, who was a high-ranking North Vietnamese political officer, a general. So Big Men was the last American hope. Thieu had to be got out of the way.
On April 20th, U.S. Ambassador Graham Martin visits Thieu.
I simply went to President Thieu and laid out on the table as clearly as I could marshal the facts as they seemed to me to be relevant to the situation. The military situation, what the other side had, what we had, the political situation, the attitude in his own administration among his own generals, and expressed the conviction that while I did not believe myself that there was any possibility of such a transition, it was clear that some of his own generals wished to attempt it, but would not do so with him in position.
The next day, April 21st, Thieu resigns the presidency. As a caretaker government takes over, Thieu is hurried into exile.
And it so happened that it was my job to get Thieu to the airport shortly after his resignation. And what a night it was. It was a starlit night. There were tracers out along the perimeters of Tan Son Nhut Air Base. Several colleagues and myself from the CIA, as well as the CIA station chief, collected limousines. I was armed to the teeth because I had visions of what had happened to Diem in 1963, ordered out of the car, cut down by young Turks. It was rather amusing to think back on it because we certainly couldn't have defended ourselves with the AK-47 under my seat, the snub-nosed .38 strapped on my hip. It was a great adventure. And I looked in the rear view mirror at Thieu's eyes, and they were glistening with tears at that point as we passed through the airbase on the way to the airplane that was to whisk him out of the country. Thieu leaned over the seat, and he said, "Thank you for all you've done." And it came to me, thank you for what? For the 50,000 American lives that have been given here in Vietnam. And I thought about saying that, but being the the loyal bureaucrat I was, I kept my mouth shut, shook his hands. The man was crying. I guess he didn't need that final humiliation. He ran up to the airplane. There were cameras banging on various lapels. The suitcases were whisked aboard. And there was Ambassador Martin, immaculately tailored. He was wearing his horn rim glasses, I believe, looking very much like a professor. Nothing like an ambassador bidding farewell to the last vestige of the American experiment in Vietnam.
Politically, it is over. Thieu boards his flight into exile, carrying a lasting bitterness toward America.
They have abandoned. They have sold out to us. They have a stab on their back, on our back. It's true. It's clear. They have a better.
như vậy đặt ra cái chương trình Việt Nam hóa chúng ta chấp nhận, rồi cũng không Việt Nam hóa, không Việt Nam hóa rồi hứa làm cộng sản xâm phạm thì sẽ phản ứng, không phản ứng thì chỉ còn có một cái chuyện tối thiểu là đưa đồ cho người ta đánh mà không đưa. Thì tôi hỏi cái đó là cái gì? Thất hứa, thiếu công bằng, thiếu tín nghĩa, vô nhân đạo đối với một đồng minh đang chịu đau khổ chịu chống trên cái gì của một đại tổ quốc. Sở dĩ tôi từ trước hôm nay là bởi vì hôm nay ở bên Hoa Kỳ Quốc hội đưa cái vấn đề viện trợ ra mổ xẻ. Tôi nghĩ rằng cái hành động của từ trước hôm nay biết đâu ngày mai từ cái chỗ nó lên 300 lên tới 722 hay là lên 1 tỷ mà rồi tới tấp cầu hàng không chở xe tăng đại pháo tới mà không còn thì qua đây viện trợ. Tôi hy vọng như vậy để coi thấy Quốc hội Hoa Kỳ có đạo. Tôi cũng hy vọng rằng trong cái lúc mà tình thế quân sự căng thẳng tại quân khu 3, quân khu 4, ông Thiệu đi rồi và ông có hứa thì biết đâu còn 3-4 ngày, còn 1 tuần cái chuyện đó có thể làm được. Nếu như tôi để ngày mai ngày mốt mà tôi mới từ chức mà cộng sản khởi sự tấn công thì em nó có thể lúc đó nó bây giờ thể quá là lắm. Mà Hoa Kỳ Quốc hội Hoa Kỳ cái viện trợ 350 nó trời xong chú là kẹo quá rồi tôi nói lỡ 350 cũng thể là 722 rồi. Không sớm hơn mà không trễ hơn, bởi vì tôi nghĩ rằng cái thời gian tính mà hôm nay đã thay đổi câu chuyện được quân sự của phải chiến trường.